everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelican, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoDatDaily.com is your site. The WhoDatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, Who Dat Nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is Saints Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
You hear me all right?
Yeah, we got you. We got you good. After watching the tape, Sean, did it seem any different? How'd you feel about it?
No, I felt good. Look, I mentioned after the game, from an offense perspective, you know, they got into some heavy fronts. They played a lot of man-to-man. You know, it was not going to be a zone game. Generally speaking, when that happens, you know, you're one to hit some big plays, and that's exactly what happened. They played a few snaps of some single safety, 3 deep, 4 under match, or some quarters, but for the most part, we got a lot of heavy fronts. We thought that would be the case, especially with the injury at linebacker, and then, you know, defensively, we knew containing their quarterback and some of the RPOs they give him were going to be the key. So, obviously, in the kicking game, Blake was outstanding. It was a good win. It was a good road win.
Sean, how limited were you after Taysom and Deontay went out? Did you have to kind of go to a different short yardage package, or how did that affect you?
Yeah, there are some plays when you have an injury to a player. There's some plays that you just aren't going to call because it might have been just the focal point of that player. And then there's a good portion of your offense where, you know, Deontay's back up, whether it's Kenny Stills or one of the other receivers is learning that package. You know, the tight ends or the Fs are learning some of the stuff Taysom's doing. So, but there are a few plays that you just take a Sharpie through.
Sean, what was the sort of plan behind Bradley Roby's usage yesterday? Did he have a specific package that he was in, and are you trying to figure out ways you can use both him and Adebo since they both?
Look, we feel like. And we felt when we traded for him, he was going to be a good addition for us. So, you know, how do we get him on the field? And obviously, Paulson's playing well, but, you know, it's a good challenge for us to sort out defensively, to keep those guys actively involved in not only the base defense, but other personnel packages.
What was there?
John, where do you stand?
Was there a specific thing that you wanted to use Roby on in this game, or like in particular where he was best?
No.
I guess
there were just, I know DA and talking with him, there were some situations where we wanted to see him, and I'm sure we'll continue to be smart how we use all those guys. So Paulson's been playing well, and at the start of the season, it was a position that we were not concerned with, but from a depth standpoint, it was something that we felt we needed to address, and I think the good news is we have.
Hey, Sean, have you been able to see or talk to Taysom Hill today?
Yeah, we won't cover any injuries. I mean, I think that's where you're going. He's doing well.
Sean, I think you alluded to it when Jeff asked about Taysom and Deontay, but when you say you have to take a Sharpie to it, was that a high percentage of plays where you just couldn't do it because those guys?
I think probably there's 7 or 8 plays. There's a handful of the quarterback run / pass packages that we would carry each week with Taysom, and there were 2 or 3 plays that Deontay had gotten to work on during the week. Those are the ones that came to mind right away.
Sean, where do you stand with your kicker situation right now? I mean, I know Cody struggled a little bit yesterday with some misses and kickoffs. I mean, how do you address all that?
Yeah, look, it's a good question, a fair question. Hopefully Will is close to getting back, and I think he is. In the meantime, we'll make sure we evaluate each of our options and all of our options. And the good news is we have an additional week to do that.
And Pete Werner seems to be getting more comfortable every week. How are you evaluating his progress as a rookie?
He's doing good. He's smart. He's got good instincts. There's things that come up in a game that he's maybe that he hadn't seen as much of at the college game, but he's one of those guys that functionally can correct a mistake and then not let it repeat. And it's good to see his progress.
Sean, obviously with all the injuries, you're kind of hamstrung with some of the options at things like punt returner, but Alvin filled in there yesterday. And how do you balance, kind of needing someone in that role with trying to limit some of the hits on, such an important piece of the offense early in the season?
Yeah, I think it's your instincts and your gut relative to how that game is going. And I think that we've utilized Alvin as a kick returner before with success, as a punt returner before. But all that being said, it's the bigger number. Last week, we didn't throw him a pass. The sky was falling. But you're still looking at overall just how's he handling the football. Obviously yesterday he was tremendously impactful with what he was doing, and I was very comfortable with him returning punts.
Sean, what's the schedule? Go ahead, Jeff. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm monopolizing this call, but what's the schedule like now for you all over the next week or so?
Well, there's 3 or 4 different groups, players. The injured players will be here getting rehab recovery. We'll do some self-scout as a staff. The non-vaccinated players, which are few, will stay right here, and the other players will have a good majority this week. Obviously, we have an additional day because we don't play till the following Monday night. So it's jumping ahead on Seattle, looking at ourselves, and then really, spending a lot of time with these guys that are in recovery and rehab, and hopefully getting a number of these starters back in the next game or 2.
Coach Payton dropping science, fam. Week 5 win over the Washington football team. I call them the Washington Whataburgers. But the Saints ate hearty. In the words of one of my favorite movies, 300, eat hearty, in which the Saints did eat off the Washington Whataburger. So much love to the great Saint Think Tank. Appreciate you guys being in the live stream. Much love to you. And a mighty hoodat to the family members. And like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening hard talk. entertaining talk. From your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q. I'm in the building. Much love to the Who Dat Nation. Much love to the Great Saint Think Tank, the Black and Gold Nation, the best in professional football. I salute you, the Who Dat Nation. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the live stream. And the Saints did eat hearty off of the back of the Washington Waterburgers. Ran them up out. Well, listen. Really, you know that the Saints should have beat the Giants, as well in the NFC at least. But things occur. We still are a work in progress indeed. So in this episode of the Sports Coma, I like to give a mighty Who Dat to the Who Dat Nation and the rest of the Great Saint Think Tank in the building. Much love. As this one's called TSC, Saints Overcoming Injuries is key to that 3-2 start, baby. And much love to the fam. As we get going in our roll call, as we get a few news, notes, and items we're going to cover. I'm not going to hold you guys for a long time today. Just give a mighty shout out to the Who Dat Nation. Who Dat to Devin C. Who Dat to you? Jerry Paul Jr. Who Dat to you? Haven. Who Dat to you? JT. Who Dat to you? All right, who else we got? Lewis. Who Dat to you? Chris P. Who Dat to you? Be kind. Who Dat to you? Josh Goat 23. Who Dat to you? Lamar. Who Dat to you? Troy Thompson. Who Dat to you? Ant-Man. Who Dat to you? Gabriel Thomas. Who Dat to you? Tramal Kellett. Who Dat to you? Kid Reese 225. Who Dat to you? Joe Gidry. Who Dat to you? Snake Bite. Who Dat to you? Will Dickerson. Who Dat to you? Chris Henderson. Who Dat to you? Much love to y'all, fam. 504 Cole. Who Dat to you? Appreciate you, fam. All right, Seth Scott's in the building. Who Dat to you? Big Herb. Who Dat to you as well? Much love. Tex Saint. Who Dat to you? Kevin Conley. Who Dat to you? Brewman, the Teflon Don. Much love, Teflon Don. Appreciate you, Brewman. Who Dat to you? All right, Swag Fan. Who Dat to you? Slim South 504. Who Dat to you? Much love to the fam. Hayabusa 14. Who Dat to you? Mike Larry. Who Dat to you? Who else we got chiming in? Latrell. What's up, Latrell? Latrell Pollard. Who Dat to you? Kyle Davis. Who Dat to you? Lori Hackler. Much love to the fam. Much love to the queens. Who Dat to you? All right, who else we got chiming in this thing as well? All right, Red Rag 504. Who Dat to you? I see you, fam. What's up, Walter? Who Dat to you, fam? Appreciate you being here in the building as well. All right, big ups to Fire in a Hellcat. All right, Fireman in a Hellcat. All right, who Dat to you, fam? All right, what's up, Robert Mosher? Who Dat to you, fam? BR Fitted 225. Who Dat to you? Mr. Pops 3000. Who Dat to you as well? No, I didn't hear about MT for OBJ Brown's traded decline, but I didn't think MT was on the market. It been rumors all kind of which ways, bro. So, you never can tell. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of rumorville all over the place. Dudley, what's up, Dudley? Who Dat to you? Keldrick, who Dat to you, fam? Brother Dada, who Dat to you? What's up, Clarence? Who Dat to you? Lavelle, who Dat to you? Appreciate you, fam. Much love. Jermaine, who Dat to you? All right. What's up, Damien? Who Dat to you, fam? Yeah, that's right. I'm at. Your alias is Keith Young. Okay, all right. I hear you. All right, J-Rock. What's up, J-Rock? Who Dat to you, fam? I appreciate you, fam. Much love. All right, Ben on Beast. Who Dat to you, fam? Pammy Whammy. Who Dat to the Queens? Much love, fam. All right, who else we got? And big ups to the rest of the Great Saint Think Tank. My dog KT, the Southern Gent. What's up, KT? Who Dat to you, fam? Hope you're doing good, bro. What's up, Randolph? Who Dat, fam? Much love to the Great Saint Think Tank. I appreciate each and every last one of you guys for being in this stream as we get going. Like I said, fam, I'm not going to hold you guys for very long on this one because, of course, we got another stream coming a little later. The Pelican post-game report is coming a little later as we recap the Pelicans' final. That's right, final preseason matchup as we get ready, baby, to get it on for real. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so fam, without that, man, we started off with Coach Payton breaking down some science as the Saints get to the bye week. Can you believe it, family? Can y'all believe it? We are already in the bye week already. My goodness, man, time is flying by. 5 contests have been played by your black and gold Saints, and they are 3-2. Now, people thinking the Saints should really be 4-1, but hey, I'll take 3-2. I'll take 3-2 for real. I'll take 3-2. So with that being said, much love to the family, man. I appreciate y'all being all right. Fireman in the Hellcat. Appreciate the super chat, faces. We Seattle wide receiver should Lattimore shadow. I think Lockett is their guy. I hadn't had a chance to do the breakdown on it, bro, to look at what they're doing. But I know I'm gonna bring in a Seattle podcaster to talk about their squad coming up in the following week. So you be looking out for that breakdown too. But yeah, I think Lockett. I want to say Lockett. Well, no, not Lockett. Well, you got that big sucker out there, man. Used to come from Ole Miss. What's his name? Man, I can see him, man, balling out. Y'all know say his name for me, fam. Y'all know his from Ole Miss, man. He played there with AJ Brown. Man, I can't remember. Metcalf. I won't say what's his name. Y'all give me his name, man. Y'all remember his name. All right, y'all remember his name. Yep. Thank you, Kevin. Has become a member. Thank you. He says, don't forget to take a break, Q. You be grinding. All right. Trey, that's for Trey. I'm sorry, Trey. Trey, thank you for being a member for 11 months, my friend. He says, don't forget to take a break, Q. You be grinding. There you go, DK Metcalf. There you go. I knew Metcalf. Thank you, Kevin, for becoming a member as well, fam. Thank you. All right. Yeah, DK Metcalf. So, my goodness, you got Lockett, you got Metcalf. Who indeed do you put on Lattimore? Who's the most prolific of the two? Well, I mean, Lockett is sensational and Metcalf is an absolute beast. So that's going to be a tough one. You think Paulson Adebo is up for the challenge of Metcalf? I don't know. That's a tough one. It's a tough one, man. That is a tough one. Lockett's a beast, man. He always finds those plays. And Metcalf is he's not a beast. You know what I call guys like Metcalf? I call him a wildebeest. That's like 2 or 3 levels more than that's like beast, ultra instinct. But yeah, that's a tough one right there, Fireman and the Hellcat. Oh, bruh. You know, which one? Is it Metcalf or is it Lockett? Oh, man. My goodness. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that one, fam. I'm going to have to think about that one. Bro. I'm going to have to think. I can't give you an answer on that one right now. I'm going to have to think on it. But since you gave you super chatted, I got to give you an answer. So let's see. Laddie Daddy got to be on their number one guy. So I guess I will go with DK Metcalf, bro. You know, if I had to put my thumb on it, I'm gonna have to go with DK Metcalf on that one. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for your cash out, my brother. For your super chat. Much love. But yeah, that's a tough one, man. Thank you, KT. Much love to KT. Says would you see in my boy Louis T? Oh, he says would to see you and Louis T and Brushimo do a draft roundtable ranking hidden gems mock draft next off season. Yeah, that sounds. Thank you, KT, for your super chat. For your super chat, fam. Might see it, man. And Louis T is a good dude, man. He's a real smart brother, knowing about the Washington football team. And he was pissed, man. I sent him a message. I won't wait for him to calm down before I send him a message and let him know, yeah, if you want to come on here and vent and let us know how you feel about your club, man, and how things went. And they frustrated, man. They tired of all that losing over there, man. That's why I told them in the thing, man. You know how it go. So we'll have to see about that. But yeah, we'll see about getting it together, fam. So much love. All right, big ups to the rest of the Great Saint Think Tank as well. Big ups to the family. Appreciate y'all being Ice Cream Man. I see Ice Cream Man. Who that to you, fam? Appreciate y'all. Travis, what's up, Travis? I see you. John, I see you. Travis, Trey Joseph, I see you, fam. And all the rest of the family members. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all being with. Haven says, oh no, it's the bye week. That means no party from Big. No watch party this time around, huh? I mean, well, you know, that gives me a bye week too, I guess. Because we be going hard in the paint, baby. So that gives me a bye week, I guess. The Saints are off. That gives me a bye week, don't it? Randolph says Q on Jameis' first quarter INT was due to Pete getting pushed back and stepping on Jameis. I seen it, bro. I seen it. Yeah, Pete is I've been protecting Pete for a long time. Y'all know it. I've been protecting Pete and calling Pete and riding with Andrews Pete. But man, Andrews Pete has got to step up. He got to step up. You're absolutely right. He got to step up. Tech Saint said, BQ, when they was carting Taysom to the locker, I'm surprised that Peyton didn't jump on the bed. Oh, no, not Taysom. Oh, no. Yeah, he fall out on the cart and ride with him in there. Coach, you got to go coach the game. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's funny. However, yeah, what's up, fam? Big ups to you. Appreciate you. And good. Yeah, I'm sorry to see him get hurt too, Robert. But it's a concussion, man, and he had to be taken off of there. But that guy should have been ejected. That goes to show you how much scum these referees are claiming that they're protecting the players when that guy blatantly took a shot at Taysom's helmet. And you didn't eject that guy, but I promise you that if that was the Saints doing that, they would have been ejected lickety-split. For that guy, there wasn't even a mention of ejection, even from the gutless commentary. It's all a control mechanism to a degree. That's why the best way to do it is just to keep speaking out against it and calling the ugly, corrupt monster for what it is, because they won't clean it up. But if we keep bringing light to the bull crap, people going to start drawing their money, and that's when they start listening, when you start pulling that money power back. See, that's what another thing. I ain't gonna get to a big spiel about it, but the power always been with the people. Control of the money. We just had some more spending discipline, had a little bit more IQ points on how we, if people piss us off and don't rock right, how we can flip this whole paradigm without even much getting hardcore with them. All we have to do is keep our money in our pocket and don't support things that ain't doing the people right. That's all we got to do, and that'll shut all that down, straight up. If you don't like big ugly behemoths like Walmart, stop shopping. Go to the local people. Have spending discipline. Spend an extra $1 or $2 with the local businesses and watch how you flip the narrative without even getting nasty and vicious with them. Just discipline, organize. That's what I'm saying. All it is discipline. That's what it takes. Like they got nasty ass banks out there that's doing stuff wrong, cheating the people and all this kind of stuff. Stop, take your money out the vicious, dirty, rotten, underhanded banks and go to the local banks. Watch how things start changing around. See, it's all within the hands. You don't have to get nasty with them. You don't have to get ferocious with them. Just stop spending with them. Stop supporting them and watch how you change and flip the whole narrative. That's what I'm saying. They don't think we smart enough to do that, but we're going to show them a thing or two. People are learning and getting it, and all this old foolishness out here, that's going to come to a stop sooner or later, because we done seen it 1,000 times. It's like Sunshine Anderson, baby. We done seen it all before. We done seen it all before. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate Johnny for subscribing, man. Appreciate Johnny subscribing. Much love to Johnny, and welcome to the Great Saint Think Tank. We done seen it all before. Your lies ain't working now. Y'all remember that one? I'm gonna stop it. Y'all know I can't sing. All right, so with that being said, fam, we're going to jump on over here. We're going to jump into the recap and get some of this other stuff going on here and talk about this stuff. But before we get going, I want to shed some light where light needs to be done. So y'all hit upon the like button. Y'all hit upon the like button. Y'all hit upon the like button if you had already hit upon it as we get going in this thing. So listen, what I got on screen right here, this is Mr. Jameis Winston, baby. Mr. Jameis Winston. Thank you, Fireman and the Hellcat. Says the punter may have made the Pro Bowl yesterday. He got to keep it up, but I'm really proud of our punter, man. He was terrific, man. He was doing it and doing it well. All right, so look, I got on screen Jameis Winston. That's Jameis Winston's numbers, as you can see to the right there. It covered up by but you can see 892 yards right now for Jameis. It's 29th in NFL, but he's tied for 5th in the entire NFL with 12 touchdowns. And only 3 interceptions to 12 touchdowns is damn good for Jameis Winston. His QBR rating is 61.7. That's good for 7th in the entire NFL. So I'm showing this to give this so people can see, and let's give this man some love. Let's give Jameis some love. Let's give him some love. You know what I'm saying? Let's give him some love. Let's give him some love. Jameis, 12 touchdowns versus 3 interceptions, 12 touchdowns in NFL. It's good. Thank you, Fireman. Says, that punter, Blake Gillikin is special. And if he keeps punting like this, he definitely going to be in the Pro Bowl. 12 touchdowns versus 3 interceptions. 12th is good for 5th in the NFL. That's pretty good for Jameis Winston, who was a backup last year, fighting his way up, fam. The 7th ranked QBR in NFL. That's pretty good. So Jameis Winston coming along, man, having one of his most productive games as a Saint 279 yards and 4 touchdowns. So much love to Jameis Winston, man, in this. And he been, like I said, Jameis is the Most High must be smiling on Jameis because he must be living right, because how many miracles he going to get? Remember, he threw that ball up there trying to throw it away and throw touchdowns, trying to throw it away as Callaway leaped up there and got it. How about the time when Jameis was throwing the Hail Mary that was answered? So like I said, man, Jameis is living good, to be honest with you, fam, because it keep happening. Also, just give Jameis some love, man. That's all I'm saying. And also, look at this statistic. Now, this is the tackle. This is the defense for the Saints. This is the tackle stats right here. The total tackles right now is 38 tackles. Demario Davis right now is leading the Saints in total tackles right now, currently with 38. But if you look at the third guy there, it's 2 rookies putting in work. Number 1 is Pete Werner. In 4 games, he has 25 total tackles, and he is 3rd place in teams in tackling right now behind Malcolm Jenkins, who has 35, and then Paulson Adebo is 2 behind Pete Werner. So the rookies are contributing. Pete Werner is contributing. Paulson Adebo is contributing on the team as well. So it's good to see that happen, and the highlight with guys like these rookies are doing, as our rookies are stepping up and playing ball, man. You know, I got to give it to our young guys. They're stepping up and they're playing ball in this thing. And like I said, man, I love what I see from these guys. But anyway, let's get into the recap here as we go over the recap. As the Saints took down the Washington Whataburgers 33-22. And like Swade said, they ain't want no beef. 18 first downs for the black and gold, 12 of which were on the pass. Ran 5 times. It were 4-11 on a 3rd down efficiency and 1-1 on 4th down. The Whataburgers, 26 first downs in the game. They had 11 through first down, 11 on the ground, 5 of 16 in 3rd down conversions, 55 total plays by the Saints versus 76. So they had over 20 plays more for the Saints and still lost by double digits. 369 in total yards for the black and gold versus 373. 13 total drives to 12. Almost 7 yards per play by the black and gold versus just 5 by the Whataburgers. 271 to 242 was the pass ratio. Thank you, Chevy Kamara, for becoming a member. Appreciate you, fam. Much love. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Also, you look at the rushing stats. Washington had 131 rushing yards versus 98 by the black and gold. 23 attempts by the black and gold, 4.3 per rush. The Whataburgers, 131 off of 33 attempts. They averaged 4 yards per rush, and there were 2 of 5 in the red zone. Saints was perfect, 2 of 2. Now, what also skewed the Whataburgers Washington club was the fact that they also had the quarterback Heineke, who was able to scramble out, made some plays that kind of pushed those rush stats up a bit, as usually the black and gold holds you to just 66 yards rushing per contest. Penalties, Saints was 6 of 6 penalties for 45 yards. Some really terrible calls too. 2nd straight week of that, and we always deal with that. 5 penalties by the Whataburgers for 37. Turnovers, 2 for 2. Both teams had them. And, of course, you see the possessions right there, as Washington had 36-26 versus the Saints 23-34. But usually, which is really intriguing, is the fact that you see this team, the Whataburgers, had 131 rushing yards, and they controlled the clock 36-26, which is a weird stat. And this is one of the situations where you see that the stats kind of play with your eyes, because the reality is when that happens, usually that team has a proclivity to win those games when that statistic line up. But it just goes to show you that the Saints defense neutralized a lot of those long drives that the Washington Whataburgers had, especially one of the longer drives where they were actually moving the ball and stacking up some of that yardage. And they got a lot of that running yardage on that very long drive that they had. But then the Saints stopped them deep in the red zone, forcing them to, to kick a field goal and settle for 3. Now, the Saints did that several times in this contest, forcing Washington football's offense to settle for field goals or try to do 4th down situations, which just didn't end to naught. Like you see on the 4th down efficiency, they were 1 of 3 on 4th down. So the Saints did that. They were able to stop them, 2 of the 3 times that they wanted to go for it on 4th down versus them kicking field goals for it. So, I really enjoyed watching them happen. You know, and the Saints just ate them freaking Whataburgers up, man. I'm just going to be honest with you, man. They took the Whataburgers to the shed. And that's what that W, if you look at that damn W, it do look like the Whataburger symbol. I ain't going to lie to you. All right, thank you, Tyrese. He said, damn, did you guys hear that John Gruden stepped down? Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I seen it. And that could be kind of a blessing in disguise because that was a ridiculous contract that they was handing out for John Gruden. But anyway, man, stuff happened. It was behind those emails. And, and I think it was some years ago. And he got caught up in that thing. So, you got to, that's how it go, man. You can't be doing all that crazy talk and be out here in the public spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Stuff can come back to kick you in your tail when you're doing all that foolishness like that, if you're feeling like that. So, I mean, hey, man, it is what it is. But the dude may step down from the job, but the dude, Rich, he probably in a couple of years take a break and he'll be back on Monday Night Football in no time, man. People got a short memory on things. So we'll see. But anyway, the box score for the black and gold Jameis Winston was 15 of 30 for 279, averaged over 9.3, over 9 yards per throw, 4 touchdowns for Jameis, 1 interception, 2 sacks in the game for him. And his QBR rating was just under 51. And you had a rating of 108.2 for Jameis. Elvin had 16 carries for 71 yards. Carried the Saints rushing attack, averaged 4.5 yards per rush. Had a touchdown running the ball on the ground from him. And also he had a passing touchdown too for Alvin Kamara, who caught 5 passes for 51 yards and a score on a 20-yard long one. 8 targets, 5 catches. Marquez Callaway, 8 targets, 4 catches, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the game, one of which was a 49 long score, which was that Hail Mary ball. And he also caught one for Jameis. So Jameis finding him out there as well. As you've seen what Deontay Harris did as well. 1 catch for 72 yards. Troutman, big fish, is growing up fast. 2 catches for 43 yards. Real proud of Troutman stepping up. And we said, and I alluded to that. And I said, Troutman, these one of the games when nobody's paying attention, but he had 2 really big catches to help Saints drive stay alive. And I'm really proud of Troutman, man, as he's coming to his own. So he did a really decent job blocking in the game. And he also caught 2 passes. Remember, he was targeted twice, and that's all he can do. He threw at him twice. He caught both passes. So I'm really happy for Troutman. Keep that momentum up. Pete Werner, 13 total tackles. We talked about this on the post game yesterday. 13 total tackles for Pete Werner. 8 for Demario. Jenkins has 7-5 for Chauncey. You see a Debo there for 4. And just like I spotlighted Pete Werner, he's 3rd on the team in total tackles behind Demario Davis and Malcolm Jenkins. And then right below Pete Werner is Paulson Adebo as well. So our young guys is contributing in a big way for the Saints. And of course, the special teams ace, and let's give love to our secondary. Paulson Adebo had a really good interception off of Heineke. Bust that bottle. Bust that bottle. Bust that Heineke bottle. We did that. And then P.J. Williams backpedaled into an interception. So we got to give that old handshake coordinator a lot of love on that one because he did a really good job. And also, as you can see, the Saints punting situation was really top-notch. Blake Gillikin, 5 punts, 268 yards. The man averaged 53.6 yards per punt and put 3 of the 5 inside of the 5. He did a really good job, and his longest punt was like a 60-yarder. So Blake Gillikin always had the leg. Now he's doing his Tommy Morstead impression, laying that ball with accuracy and pinning that Washington team deep in its territory, allowing the Saints defense to keep kind of pin back and go after him. And you can see Heineke was not comfortable as that bottle was rattled and spilling all over the place. So looking at their statistics, as we kept yelling, bust that bottle, 20 of 41 for him, 248, 2 interceptions. He was sacked a couple of times. His QBR rating was 24.9. Rating was 47.6 as well. In the game, he was totally shook. A lot of the Washington people, Louis in particular, was really upset about Heineke. But the thing is, that was Louis' call. Louis said, if I'm cool with him throwing 40 times. I said, you really want them to do that? To throw into the Saints secondary, because people don't understand how good the Saints secondary is coming along. The Saints secondary is very deep, and they're very good, and they're very intelligent. Why? Why is that, Q? Why the secondary is stepping up. Like we gave people like Ken Crawley, and we talked about P.J. Williams, Paulson Adebo, and other cornerbacks in particular getting better and looking better. Why? Because you have a new defensive backs coach back there. The architect of the Legion of Boom himself, Chris Richard, is back there, and he's teaching up and coaching up these secondary guys. And you can see that maturation in training camp and into the preseason. You see it then carried over into these games as these cornerbacks are all these defensive backs are all they playing with confidence, and they're confident. They're looking good out there. So, I mean, I got to give a lot of credit to our secondary. They're awesome. And when you throw the ball 41 times into the Saints secondary, you're gonna have problems. And the Saints were able to pick them off a couple of times and neutralize drives that they should have scored on. Antonio Gibson carried the ball for him, 20 carries. He was held to 60 yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. And like I said, Heineke was the one that it kind of skewed their stats a bit rushing wise, where he added 40 yards on top of Gibson's 60 yards to give him 100. And then, of course, you had a few little piddling carries by Jared Patterson and Carter throwing them up in there and doing that kind of stuff as they was able to put an ineffective 131, 2 rushing touchdowns, an ineffective rushing attack because they still faltered because they couldn't get any help through the pass. So it was all on the back of the quarterback, and he couldn't carry the team. That was the game plan that I covered in the pregame Thursday and Saturday streams when I said, listen, we got to neutralize their rushing attack, in which the Saints did, and put the pressure on Heineke, and the Saints would have to bust that bottle. Well, he couldn't handle the pressure. He folded. So 33-22, we come away with this thing proud of the black and gold. All right, let's head into our next article here. And this was coming from John DeSacia, JD on the mic. New Orleans Saints overcome self-inflicted wounds for gutsy win over that. That's a real good article by him. The growing pains aren't nearly as painful in victory as the Saints definitely experienced a few of them during the 33-22 victory over the Washington Whataburgers. But Sunday, October the 10th was all about resiliency, from an offense that produced big plays to a defense that had big stops and forced turnovers to a special team unit that struggled, but not so much as to cost the Saints a 3-2 a victory. New Orleans entered its bye week with a pleasant taste because it overcame obstacles, whether they were self-inflicted or Washington generated, to make things happen. The offense, first quarter, feast of famine, an interception, a fumble lost by quarterback Jameis, sandwiched around a 72-yard touchdown pass to Deontay Harris, the longest completion of Winston's career. It wasn't a total portrait of how the game would evolve, and that was a good thing for the Saints. Now, Winston completed 15 passes for 279, his new Saints high, 4 touchdowns, leading an offense that totaled 369, averaged almost 7 yards per play. He had Harris touchdown, a 49-yard Hail Mary touchdown pass to Marquez Callaway in the second quarter ended, and a 19-yard touchdown pass to running back Elvin Kamara that gave New Orleans his final breathing space. It wasn't a clean performance. The Saints remain a work in progress, but the Saints remain near spotless in the red zone. They were 2 of 2, raising the season total to 13 of 14 in the red zone, and continue to show a knack for taking advantage of short field situations. Defense, the numbers that matter, were 2 turnovers forced, both interceptions, 2 sacks, 11 stops on 16 third down attempts, and 3 stops and 5 red zone attempts. If the red zone stops hadn't gone the other way and 1 stop was an interception at the Saints' 2-yard line by rookie Adebo in the second of the season, then New Orleans would likely have been entering the bye week on a loss. Washington ran off 76 plays on offense and hogged the possession of 36-26. But the Saints defense rarely broke. There are some situations where it needs to improve. The 2 sacks were timely, but the pressure in Washington quarterback Taylor Heineke was spotty. But it rose to the occasion much more often than not, considering the amount of time it spent on the field, which is something that we constantly go to and talk about time of possession. TOP, man, bottom line. The Washington Whataburgers had over 36 minutes of total of game possession. In a 60-minute game, they had 36 minutes of it. The Saints defense was still able to force turnovers and make stops when they needed to. They just had a couple of sacks, but we continued to show up and handle business where businesses do. So that's positive. And then on the special team side, defensive end Carlos Grant, he committed the personal foul by roughing the punter after the defense had gotten a stop, but Cody Parkey missed 2 point after attempts. Will Lutz has been dearly missed in the first 5 games, but the unit got a lift from Kamara, who turned 3 punts for 29 yards in the absence of Harris, who left the game with a hamstring injury. and punter Blake Gillikin was brilliant, and that's an understatement. Gillikin punted 5 times for an average of 53.6 average. We just covered that, and 3 punts inside the 20, including a 60-yarder that bounced at the 1-yard line and preceded the defensive stop, which allowed for the Hail Mary touchdown pass to commence. Now, Gillikin won't punt like that every game, but when he does, it won't be a surprise. Pinning the Washington Whataburgers back in their field like that, having those long drives, putting more pressure on Taylor Heineke, so the Saints defense said he couldn't carry the day. And you can see them. We seen it in the day, and I kept telling the family members during the watch stream is that, hey, this guy is exhibiting his body language, that of a loser. Not saying he was a loser, but his head was down in his chest. He was walking around with his hands on his. I was like, this guy is not going to help them win no games. He's not in the right state of mind. So JD covering that one, that was a good one. All right, now let's keep it going. Now, this is the key story here. Saints' ability to overcome injuries is key to the 3-2 start. Now, this also by Brother DeShazier. When it happens during the preparation leading up to a game or during the game itself, there isn't time to mope. Saints coach Sean Payton said, when the player's injured, starter or backup, the process of figuring out how to win continues. So when the Saints lost receiver Deontay Harris to a hamstring injury in the first quarter after he caught a 72-yard touchdown pass, Washington in the 33-22 victory on the Washington Whataburgers at FedEx Field, where we beat the Washington Whataburgers. They ain't want no beef. And then we packed and shipped their ass in their own stadium. And lost the jack-of-all-trades quarterback Taysom Hill off a dirty hit by one of the Whataburgers players in the second quarter after he sustained a concussion. All that remained was to keep plugging with the players available. And look, even though you think you're hurting the black and gold, you're not hurting us. Because what it did was it took Taysom Hill out of the game that Coach Payton couldn't go to Taysom Hill. He had to make it work with Jameis, which they figured it out. Now, if they were stalling and the pressure was on Coach Payton and Jameis to figure it out live time to get the game, because it came to intervals of the game where the defense was stepping up and doing what they were supposed to do. Blake Gillikin was pinning them back so that they have to have long drives marching. So it was up to Coach Payton and Jameis to find a way to move the Saints offense. They did that. So, and these, like I said to the family members on the yesterday's stream, on the recap stream, these are the type of games and situations that build trust between Coach Payton and Jameis Winston. When they can figure it out on the field and make it right. And you've seen Coach Payton several times was fussing. He was very, fussing and gesturing toward Jameis, and Jameis was listening. And they figured it out and they won. And that's a big step in the right direction in the relationship between Coach Payton and Jameis as that coach-quarterback relationship continues to grow. Now, Saints already entered the game without Eric McCoy, Teron Armstead, Mike Thomas, David Onyemata, Marcus Davenport, Quan Alexander, and Will Lutz, all starters and significant contributors. The victory raised New Orleans' record to 3-2 entering the team's bye week. I think the first thing's attitude, said Coach Payton. I hate being around this idea of, well, we're missing a certain player with the excuse already built in. I think that can be extremely contagious in a negative way. Let's remember that, because that's what we preach. Oftentimes, if not, I allude away from that. We talk about the injuries, but Coach Payton's telling you from himself, injuries is a part of the game. Also a part of the game is getting players that can come in and contribute in a positive fashion to keep the team rolling and winning while some of your starters or your key contributors are missing. The Saints do that very well. They've done that very well. And Coach Payton will not and should not use the excuse, well, we don't have this player or that player, that's why we lost. Look what he says here again. I think the first thing is attitude. He used the word hate, being around this idea of, well, we're missing a certain player with the excuse already built in. I think that can be extremely contagious in a negative way, which means Coach Payton don't want that around here. Get that up out of here. And he also says, obviously, your job is to prepare and teach. Then your job is to look at who you have and try to put them in the best positions to be successful. I always say that. You got to know your personnel and you got to put these guys in position so they can be successful. If just that's what we're paid to do in this league, there's no utopia. It's ever changing, and you hope your numbers at the right time are reduced rather than increase. But I think it's important each week we talk about it Sometimes it seems like a cliche, but all these guys, the guys that are on the active roster, the guys maybe on the practice squad, they're going to play. They have to be ready to play. And if they're not progressing where you don't have a vision, then you need to turn that part of the roster and keep looking for guys that can help you if that time comes. So if you're not ready to play, then you're not going to get an opportunity on this team. You have to be ready to go at a moment's notice. And that's what Coach Payton is saying. Guys have to be ready to step up. They have to be ready to go, because at any given time, somebody can give away, they can get hurt, and you have to step in and contribute. Look what happened with Kelvin Throckmorton. Look what happened with Will Clapp got into the game when Andrews Pete went down. Clapp had to come in there, and he did a pretty good job. And look at all the young wide receivers that we have filling in for wide receivers that are starters that's missing. Mike Thomas is out. Traquan Smith is out. You see Marquez Callaway in there and several other players in there contributing, not to mention guys at the running back position as linebackers, the young guys like Pete Werner doing this thing. Peyton Turner stepping in when Davenport is out. So Granderson stepping up. So guys come in and they're hungry and they're ready to eat. Now on the fly, Peyton said the offensive play call list received a trim minus Hill and Harris. He says when you have an injury to a player, there are some plays that you just aren't going to call because it might have been just the focal point of that player, he said. And then there's a good portion of your offense when Deontay's back up, whether it's Kenny Stills or one of the other receivers learning that package, the tight ends or the Fs are learning some of the stuff Taysom's doing. But there are a few plays that you just take a Sharpie through. When you heard Coach Payton said this, because I played a lot of this when he was talking like this when the show first started. Okay, stroll on the sidewalk. Running back Alvin Kamara made a reference to the sidewalk while describing Sunday's Hail Mary pass, a 49-yard touchdown pass at Jameis Winston to receive a Marquez Callaway as time expired in the second quarter, giving the Saints a 20-13 halftime lead. Payton says if you check the numbers, you'll see numbers painted on the field. And if you pretend the numbers just continue into the red zone, that's the sidewalk, he said. There's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, you have to have fortune to throw up in the air and catch it, but it's not random. Go down there and just get open. And that's the thing that most people was talking about Callaway, is that he has no separation. How many times when we was doing the pre-show, one of the family members got on there and said that Callaway can't separate. Callaway can't do this. Callaway can't do that. And then you see him show you that he can separate, that he can go up and make catches, that he can make plays. These are young wide receivers. They need time to get better. But if you give them the opportunity to develop, they will be a big help to the squad. All right. Also, successful ones that don't often happen. Peyton said the serious things have to go right. When you get one, it's rewarding because you're always practicing it and you're talking about the attention to detail, the most important thing, or just the landmarks. Then the quarterback being able to, there's generally a second or third hitch or escape or a flush so that receivers can get further downfield and then the ball is thrown. And so Jameis was able to do that. There was a climb and then an escape from the pocket. And then once that happens, there's going to be a better chance from a timing standpoint. So he was outstanding. Then the landmarks were good too. If you watch Marquez, he's tracking it, probably his eyes. He turned at the 11-yard line. I'm going to say it because he's coming from a little bit farther away. So as you know, and this was something that if you look at what happened with Coach Payton, is that Coach Payton and other people scouted Marquez Callaway. And we scouted Marquez Callaway on the Sports Coma. What was one of the keys to one of the great things that Marquez Callaway did? He was a wide receiver that was known to catch contested passes. That's what he did. He did a lot of that at the University of Tennessee. He caught contested balls. If he goes up, he's going to get the ball. And that's something that you've seen Callaway do a lot in his young career thus far. And remember, he's a star. He's starting for you right now in his second year due to injuries. And the man had 2 touchdown catches in the past games. And 2 of those pivotal touchdown passes helped the Saints have a 10-point win to move further. So we got, just like we gave Blake Gillikin some credit, Jameis some credit, having a pretty good game. We gave Elvin a lot of credit for what he did, catching the touchdown pass and running for one. But Marquez Callaway was a guy that had 4 catches in the matchup for 80-plus yards and 2 touchdowns that helped the Saints win this contest. So before we start talking about being hard on these young wide receivers and all these reporters writing these articles talking about we need to go find a name wide receiver, chill out with all that shit and let these young people show you what they can do. Anyway, and so Jameis was able to do that. So kicker issue, the Saints have had kicking woes this season without Will Lutz. First, it was Eldrick Rosas went 1 of 4 on field goals, missing the final 3 in the first 4 games. On Sunday, his replacement, Cody Parkey, missed a pair of point-after attempts. That's crazy. And one of them was blocked, though. Hopefully, Will is close to getting back, but really, they'll put that on the kicker, too, because, he's supposed to be aiming that thing up a little higher. But anyway, we'll see how it works. In the meantime, we'll make sure we evaluate each of our options and all 4 of our options. The good news is we have an additional week to do that. So if Coach Payton feel like he need to bring up another kicker, he can feel free to do that. All right, this week, Payton also laid out the schedule for this week. There are 3 or 4 different group of players. The injured players will be getting rehab, recovery. We'll do some self-scouting, all this kind of stuff. We know Coach Payton talked about this because we played this early on in the interview when he talked about their schedule for the bye week. So, and also finally, we're going to give credit to Blake Gillikin. Why the Blake Gillikin was singled out as the Saints hero on a Jameis Winston 4 TD touchdown day, which was a team effort, but Blake Gillikin did a hell of a job. And this is from Triplet of ESPN. Land over Maryland. Let's face it, the most impossible for a punter to get recognized in an NFL game. So it was especially impressive to find the Saints punter Blake Gillikin getting the hero treatment after a 33-22 win over the Washington football team that included Jameis Winston throwing for 4 touchdown passes, including a long 72-yarder and a 49-yard Hail Mary before halftime, and stars like Elvin Kamara, Marshawn Lattimore giving big-time performances. I mean, it was too many to name how great the Saints played. I mean, defensively speaking, Pete Werner, he had 13 tackles in the matchup. You had Blake Gillikin, what he did. You had Lattimore just shutting down McLaurin, giving him a McNo-no, shutting them down. Paulson Adebo played really well, got an interception in the matchup. So, I mean, it was just a phenomenal day. You had Callaway with 2 touchdowns in 1 game doing what he did. So, I mean, there has a lot of greatness can go around. But, Blake Gillikin had a hell of an outing in this. So it was a just terrific effort by several different players in this one. But Gillikin pinning the Washington football team deep in their own territory was a very special. Payton singled out Gillikin with the game ball in the post-game locker room. Instead of waiting until Monday when players are usually recognized, he then called Gillikin's performance outstanding 4 times during one answer in the post-game press conference. That's the most I've heard Sean Love on the punter, Kamara joked afterward. Turns out the love was warranted. According to ESPN stats and information, Gillikin became the first NFL punter since at least 2000 to have 3 punts of 50-plus yards downed inside the 5-yard line. How about that? Specifically, he had a 60-yard make a sharp turn out of bounds at the 1-yard line in the second quarter, a 57-yard roll out of bounds at the 3. And, he had one. It was the Saints bounce that bounced back for the – I mean, it was terrific. And a 53-yarder down at the 2 in the fourth quarter. More importantly, he kept the up and down Saints 3-2 constantly ahead in the field position battle in a close game before they ultimately pulled away for good. What a performance he put on today. I said Winston also brought up Gillikin twice unprompted, both times as a key to aiding his own performance. He really helped us win the field position battle with his greatness in the kicking game. Making Gillikin's performance even more impressive was the fact that he was just playing in his 5th career start. And after spending last year on the injury reserve as an undrafted rookie, Winston pointed out how much Gillikin learned last year from Saints great Tommy Morstead in the same way that Winston learned from Drew Brees. And we mentioned that. Tommy Morstead is the Drew Brees of punters, in my opinion. One of the great. He should be a first ballot Hall of Fame punter when it's says and done. He's the best punter the Saints ever had. Tommy Morstead was awesome. And for Blake Gillikin to get an opportunity to study from a great punter like Tommy Morstead, that just created just excellence. Gillikin admitted that some luck was involved in Sunday. Normally on punts of that length, he's hoping to get the ball around the 8-yard line with a chance to be fielded by the gunner. My goal is to pin it as close to the sideline as possible, but that's easier said than done, said Gillikin. He also joked that his experience at Penn State helps him since the Big Ten is a punting conference. He said, I love to not punt at all, Gillikin said, but to have the kind of game and also get a win is great. The Saints needed every hero performance they can get in a bit of a roller coaster game that was closer than the final score might have indicated. Winston threw an interception on the Saints opening series. They lost a fumble later in the first quarter, but unlike last week, the Saints squandered an 11-point lead in the final 7 minutes in a loss to the Giants. New Orleans finished strong with a 19-yard touchdown pass from Winston to Kamara. The Saints now feel much better heading into the Week 6 bye, above 500 with a chance to get 8 starters back from injuries and suspension in the next couple of weeks. a little sloppy in the beginning, but we picked it up, said Kamara. Us being able to persevere, and keeping going after 2 turnovers says a lot about our offense. Winston threw a season high. Winston threw a season high 279 passing yards, while Washington frequently used a 5-man front that was designed to slow New Orleans' run game. Kamara and receivers Marquez Callaway scored 2 touchdowns apiece. Lattimore led the defensive effort with a career-high 6 passes defense, while primarily shadowing Washington standout receiver Terry McLaurin. Maybe they'll get some game balls too that you have to wait in line. Yeah, but this was a special game and a great performance by the black and gold in this one. But young Blake Gillikin deserves all the credit in the world for what he did against the Washington Whataburgers. Let me tell you something, baby. All right, so with that being said, and let me remind the family members once again about Jameis. Jameis, for all our Jameis bashers, he has 892 yards. That's right now. He has 12 touchdowns so far. 12 touchdowns as a starter. That's good for 5th in the entire NFL. Okay? He's tied for 12 touchdowns. That's 5th in the NFL. Jameis Winston. Only 3 interceptions. And his QBR is 61.7, which is good enough to be 7th in the NFL. So a lot of positives about Jameis Winston. For those who keep saying, I don't trust Jameis Winston. Well, do you trust the numbers? The numbers is good. And remember, it's not all Jameis Winston. This team is going to progress and get better with Jameis Winston as the team gets more and more of its top personnel back. So in summary, we recap the statistics, both team and individual, of the Saints' 33-22 win over the Washington Whataburgers. We also covered several articles by John DeSacier covering the Saints and bringing up some good statistics, by the way, in each one of these articles. And, of course, we gave credit where credit due to Blake Gillikin and a fantastic performance that he had for the black and gold while spotlighting on the season Jameis's numbers. So a lot there, baby, to be said. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's best to just show people the numbers, because you can talk all you want, but when you start showing the numbers of what the man looks like, you're like, okay, I see what you got going on there. Maybe that'll get some of the guys off these back, or maybe off of Jameis Winston back. Maybe we can get some guys off of Marquez Callaway's back. You know, maybe we can get some of these guys off of his back and let these young people do what they're supposed to do, which is take time and learn the system and come up in it. If you give them the opportunity to take time and learn the system, I promise you, you're going to have a lot of success in Coach Payton's system, because he has a lot of weapons that he's going to utilize. Every now and again, he'll kind of, throw some stuff up in there to see what he can do. But at the end of the day, listen, it's still a work in progress, fam. This is not like Drew Brees sitting on the top and Drew Brees sitting up on the team for over 14 years. He done mastered the system. In many ways, we talked about that even up until last year before Drew retired, was the fact that Drew knows the system in many ways better than Coach Payton does. He really does. He can run that system in his sleep. How? Because he did it for over 12 years. What was it, 15, 16 years Drew Brees sat as a quarterback? Man, come on. If you do anything that long, it's going to be big. You do anything that long, it's going to be good. It's going to be big. Anything. You're going to do it. If you paying attention, you're going to get really good at it. So, like I said, man, the Saints it's not just all up to Jameis. It's other pieces involved, but we have the pieces. We have the pieces, and it's just going to take some time. It's going to take some time. But 3-2, I perfectly would like them, thought we should be at least 4-1, because really the only team that really beat the black and gold Saints was the Carolina Panthers. That was the only team. The Giants were beat, and we just simply went to sleep, and they took the game from us. So really 4-1, but I'm not mad at 3-2. I'm really not. I'm not mad at 3-2. But it's room for improvement anyway. So we get the rest, and then on the other side of stuff, we get some of these guys back. Maybe we can take a look at what we need to do here. But we get David Onyemata back. That's big for your defense that's already playing lights out. Traquan Smith, that's definitely a guy you'll see coming back. You'll get Crawley back, which that just makes the secondary even better. You also get other players. Quan Alexander's a potential, and there are other guys involved. McCoy, your offensive line gets a little stronger there. So you see that? These guys are coming along, and I'm really happy, man. So with that being said, we're going to have a lot going on. But anyway, fam, that'll be it for the show today. I'll thank you guys for stopping by in the Sports Coma. Like I said, I wasn't going to hold you guys for very long in the coma for tonight. I just wanted to cover some quick news, notes, and items with you on this Monday, this happy Monday stream, and keep it going. So big ups to the rest of the family members. I see y'all. I see you, Carlton. Who that to you? Who else we got? Sydney, who that to you as well. Randolph says, speak on the queue. Do you hear any of those national clowns saying that about Jameis? No, they want to harp on the INT and fumble. That's what they do. That's what they do. We've said that. I mean, I've said the agenda is loud and clear when it comes down to Saints. It's not just Saints. Even if they had another quarterback there, they'd be hating on him. Jameis Winston is not a light quarterback in the national perspective. They try to treat him like a joke. They consider him a joke, and everybody views Jameis Winston like he's still Tampa Bay Jameis. And I'm like, okay, Jameis gets in trouble. And even the brother from the football podcast, the Washington football podcast, came on and said that if you put pressure on Jameis, he gonna show you up some stuff. Oh yeah, he gave you an interception and a fumble, but he also killed your ass with them 4 touchdown passes. So like I said, don't worry about my quarterback, worry about yours. I'll take him before I take anybody they got. But the reality is it was a good opportunity for the Saints to go. And it's a tough win in Washington. They was trying to really get that game. And the Saints really made them uncomfortable in their own building. And despite the fact that they was running, they had the time of possession. They couldn't. I mean, the Saints took it up out of them and shut that crowd the hell down. They had a lot of black and gold family members, if you listen closely, in that crowd that was yelling for the black and gold, man. But really, the Whataburgers got their lids slammed on them. So let's give the Saints some credit, man. It's not perfect, but it is on the right side of things. So with that being said, fam, we're going to pop out on that. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Who that's all the family members in the building. Once again, congratulations to Keith Young, who won the PS5 raffle that we did. It was a, I think, 60-day raffle. We gave the family members the big chat. All right. Okay, good, Hoodie. All right, good, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Good for you, bro. He said, who that Q, almost 300 subs, currently at 295. Very good, bro. Very good. Very good, my brother. I'm happy for you, bro. But I'll tell you what, too, bro. A bit of advice, just focus on doing what you love to do. Don't focus too much on the subscriber count because it kind of steals from you. Just turn that shit off and concentrate on doing the best content you can do. That's that, because it could become addictive just sitting up there watching it all the time. Trust me, from somebody been doing this stuff for years. So I just turn them all off and just enjoy just doing it. And when you do it naturally, my brother, it's going to all flow right on to you. So don't even worry about it. But congratulations on that. Big ups to you. But like I said, just enjoy doing your content and just get better at it as you get in time. Keep focus on it, refine it, and keep on grinding it, baby. And you're gonna shoot to the moon. You're going to shoot to the moon, baby, to the stars. All right. So with that being said, listen, I appreciate all you guys for chiming in up on this thing. If you like the stream, please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber as well. Feel free to also join our Patreon at patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. Link in the description section below, and also become a YouTube member. Now I'm about to jump over to the Pelican post-game report in a little bit to watch and see what my Pelicans are doing currently. We got a Pelican post-game report coming up a little later on here, and we're going to cover that as well. As the Pelicans right now, they're not doing too good. They're trailing 53-41, about almost 4 minutes before the halftime. So anyway, it's preseason, so we gonna cover it for the final one. So much love to the fam. I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep doing what y'all do. And listen, we gonna keep on doing this thing. We're gonna keep handling business, and we're gonna be fine. You understand? And we'll be back, I guess, to Tuesday. Tomorrow is our Patreon day for the family members. It's Patreon Tuesday for our family members and our YouTube members, and we'll cover some great news notes on that, open up the lines of communication as well on that thing. So with that being said, I'm out, and I'll see you later. Who that?
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New, Orleans, who that nation? Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say who that?
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelican, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of it.